Greetings and salutations. You would not guess what I have in this bag. Oh, you probably can because I put in the title. This happens to be a dice set I purchased off of the internet because I was in a hurry one day. As you can see, this is called what is this? Some people are like, what is that? This is called This is not the normal D100 percentage dice setup. The normal D100 percentage dice setup is two dice with a tens and a single digit, and they're 10-sided. And you roll these two dice to get a 100. You often do this in some older TTRPGs, older Dungeons and Dragons, or in Call of Cthulhu. Now, I went and bought this because I was particularly curious and I saw a particularly good price. This dice bag contains a lot of odd dice, and I've took time to rolling several of them, and I'm going to give you a little review. First and foremost, what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll them into this tray, and I'm going to, oh my goodness, this is going to be fun. The reason why I threw them into the tray is going to become much clearer as I go along. Okay, where is that dice? Oh my goodness, where are you, you little horrible? This is a 6-sided D3. A 6-sided D3 is cool, but it's not great. There's actually a physical shaped form of a D3 like this that only has 3 sides, or actually has more than one side, but it only rolls with potential of 3 sides facing up, and those are way superior to these because this is actually based off the D6 form, and the problem with the D6 form is that it doesn't roll properly. It's actually, ones like these are quite easy. That's a 2 side. You see the 2 side, 3. It's doubles. You got the 2s on opposite side from each other. You got 3s. Weirdly enough, you got the 3s next to each other, and you got the 1s next to each other, as you can see. And the problem with the 6-sided die is it doesn't want to roll naturally or very easily. So this die is not particularly good. I'm gonna try to find the link to share in this description. All my videos in the future, I will try as much as possible to get an Amazon link that goes to the actual product, so you can actually look at it like, okay. But anyways, that's not a terrible dice. And then we have this D4, this weird ass fudge D4. It actually has more sides. It's kind of like the D3 I was describing before, not the 6-sided variant, but this D4, where it's structured so that you have a broad side opposite to the narrow side with the number. So when you roll it, it rolls up. And interestingly enough, this variant of D4 is actually quite good at tumbling or rolling effectively and spinning around really thematically. It literally does like a little ballerine dance. When you throw it into the tray, it'll spin in circles. It'll not just tumble or roll around, but it will literally tumble, bounce off a side, and then go into a spin and dance across the dice tray. It's beautiful. You have to, I should literally make a video of me throwing these types of D4s into the tray, and you get to watch them do the Nutcracker. It's magical. You just do enough of special stuff, and you get a whole concert, a whole show out of it. So those are nice. And then I'm gonna have to oh dear goodness. Then I got this, oh my goodness, this abomination. This thing is called a D5. Oh my goodness. This is called a D5. And it's really weird how it's structured because you have a lot of flat sides to it. Turn on. Oh, that doesn't work anymore. Well, that's neat. Bought something thinking for it to be useful, and it like doesn't work anymore. But anyways, this is a really weird dice. You notice that you see that it has like some of the numbers are on the big sides, but then some of the big sides are blank. That's because the big sides are opposite of an actual number on a ridge or something. And it rolls, but it's like really weird roll where it will like bounce on an edge, roll to a side, flip to another edge, fall back onto one side or back over to another side. Kind of like it's like a drunkard of the dice. So I guess you would call the D5s the drunk dice. It is interesting. It kinda, I can't really catch that effectively. Yeah, I would have to literally tilt the camera in such a weird fashion as to not catch it. But it seems to be, it seems to bounce around, and it doesn't seem to be terribly favorable to one side. Maybe like the number 5, like I just literally had slightly more 5s, now 2 2s. The 5 and the 1 happen to be on broad faces. So there might actually be potential for the dice to fall more likely on a 5 or a 1, and being 2, 3, and 4 being rarer rolls. Just due to the structural nature of the dice. But I have seen quite a few 2s, which is a ridge, which big flat side, it facing down. And then I have, that's a D8. The regular D6, I don't need to bother explaining D6s. They just are just not that efficient at rolling themselves. Then I have this interesting D8. This D8, instead of being like the typical D8s with the hard point, see, it's missing the hard point, and it's rounded off, where the typical D6, that's a D10. Typical D8 tends to have a hard point and be more squared out. You can tell it's the same basic structure too. Hold it up to the camera. It's still 4 faces, and then reverse 4 faces, where, just like the other one, it's still 4 faces and then still 4 faces. Just the difference is all the corners got knocked off. That's the normal dice I was comparing. And then you got, oh my Franck, this is a D7. I actually skipped over the D7 earlier, but this is the dice that really is weird to me, because you see that the numbers are actually on the edge of the dice. Like, they're placed, you see the 3 is on an edge, and that's because that is the exact opposite side of a flat face. And it seems to be, it rolls around a lot. It's really rounded. So I throw it, it bounces, it comes back, but it's actually it has like a good distribution of rolls. I get a 2, I get a 7, I get a 5, I get a 3. There's a 3. Another 3. 3s are like roughly center. 7. It bounces. It goes back and forth the tray. It actually is like an anti D6. A D7 is literally an anti D6. It really likes to move around. It takes no effort to roll it. It just wants to roll a little bit. It likes to go over there, rolls back over here, and it's definitely a dice that you need to throw into a tray because it is rounded just enough that if you throw it, it will roll and go off the table. That's a D. Then I got my 2 percentage dice, or my total D10s. They're just the standard D10s. There's nothing special about them. They should all roll, but they feel to be slightly smaller in size, and they seem to be pretty good at doing the standard D100 percentage rolls. Like I got a 71, I got a 58, I got a 32. It has pretty good distribution. A 23, it doesn't. A 4, it's a 20, a 32, a 6, a 12, a 17, a 34, a 61, a 13. That's just how I am with D100. I like da-da, da-da, But anyways, that's neat. And then you got the standard D12. It's nothing special. It's just standard D12. It's standard D12. It's nothing crazy. Nothing mad. And then I got, oh my goodness, I think this is supposed to be a D16. Yes, this is the D16. This is a D16. You think mixing up your D20s and your D12s is bad enough. You get a D16 into your collection. You're going to really start messing up. Because it looks like, it's like that. Here's a D20. There's the D16 in the center, and there's the D12. This is serious a situation where you want to color code them, guys. And I purposely bought a set of all black. So, as it is, they seem to naturally all roll very well. I'm not going to go over the D20 and the D12. The D12 rolls very nice. Just quick blast out or a bunch of quick smack out rolls. And it has a nice roll all over range. The D16 is very much in the same range. It rolls a little bit more. It's a little more lively like the D20. A D20 having more faces. This is an important pattern, people. The more faces a dice has, the more playful it is with dancing, with the exception of some abnormal numbers, like uneven numbers like the 7, which like to really dance around. Even numbers are more stable. Abnormal numbers tend to dance more, but also larger the dice, the more it wanders and rolls. Okay, my goodness, believe this is my D24. I've actually considered writing a role-playing game system using D24s, just to like screw with everyone's perception of percentage. And the D24 is that still it rolls around. It's completely random. You get a nice variety of rolls out of D24. I had a 4, I had a 14, I had a 23, I got a 2. It's still, it got big enough faces. That's a 24. You still have big enough face on the dice. That's a 19. that you can easily make out what the number is on the dice, even if your eyes are not the greatest, but my eyes are actually pretty good. And then on to my D30. This I denoted as an important point. The D30 does roll and dance around a little bit, and is a little bit. I got 28, and I also had a 16 before, and now it's like just dancing around. This is a really important moment. I need to. As you can see, oops. The D30 will naturally dance around until it hits a corner or edge of the tray. And then it stabilizes. As I said, this is a really important point. That's a 15. You can still make out the numbers still, but bounces and wobbles, as you can see. 25. So I say a D30 is still in the usable range as a dice. But now we're going to get into the ridiculous zone. The D50. The D50 literally only stops rolling when it loses enough momentum and it gets near an edge. And it bounces back off the edge. If you're very conscious about how you roll the D50, you could still use a D50 for stuff. And you got a dice tray? Yes. And easy roller dice instantly makes your dice is 50% and to 75% easier to roll, with the handy dandy edge and the exact surface scientifically proven and to control all the magic of dice, making it more consistent overall. So the D50 is still usable, but you have to be more conscious about how you roll it, otherwise you disturb the magical energies inside the D50. This is the D100. The D100 literally only stops rolling once it hits a wall and loses enough energy. That's literally 100 roll. Also, this other problem, if you notice, that the D100 is essentially almost a ball. So it might actually be really hard to agree that's a 78. Exactly if it actually one number is on top or the other. That's a 55. It is still usable, but you have to whisper to the dice, understand its magical energies, and have a properly sanctified dice tray, such as easy roll or dice tray, to ensure that your dice's energy is proper. If you release this dice into the wild and roll it, it just rolls wherever it does roll, and it rolls off the table. And every time a dice hits the floor, a DM cries somewhere, and a player loses his character sheet. And we do not want to have those misfortunes come upon the tabletop gaming community. So when dealing with dice in larger numerical sizes, it becomes impressively more important to get yourself a quality dice tray to ensure that your dice's magical energy of magical probability your clickety-clack rocks properly roll in an exact manner that is harmonically in tune with the universe. So, thank you very much. This video and my previous video are probably going to be like my dice tutorial videos, as well as my review videos. This dice set is perfectly usable. The randomness seems to be good enough that it actually is legitimate use on table. However, when you get to the D50 and the D100, you absolutely, the energy in these dice, because they are big balls, they got big ball energy. Because they have big ball energy, they have to be properly directed through proper means. And this is like the backup to your truly sanctified dice tray. Your proper tray. This is your backup proper tray. Okay? And you know what? Yeah. So this dice set I just showed off is probably, say, a 3.5 edition. It's better than, a standard dice set, but that score is without the dice tray. You can't truly properly use the dice set to its full potential. What you need to get is a good dice tray. I do highly suggest Easy Roller Dice for their awesome trays. And that should actually raise the set from a 3.5 to a 4 or a 4.5. If you have mastered the art of dice speaking and you have made the magical energies of your gaming table proper, making all things on level and proper, this might actually be a 4.5. It's a good dice set. Is it the most best? Is this a Q Workshop Seth Sorkowski dice set? No. Seriously, no. These are not Seth Sorkowski Q Workshop dice. Those dice have been triple bound in 3 different magical systems to properly align their magical energies and harness into multiple forms of magical probability to achieve the most optimal magic that crosses arcane, divine, and occult to magical energy wavelengths as possible. That's the tri-magical field rule there. There's also a quad magical, the 4th category of magical energies, but we don't always, typically in various magical traditions, you only usually use 3. Usually there's one that's usually kicked out to the curb and said, like, you don't belong with us. And that's mean. You shouldn't do that. Don't be gatekeeping. So thank you very much for watching this video. I do say that these dice are actually pretty good. As soon as I can find the link or the link to the actual product on this, they're a pretty decent price is for the quality of dice they are. They roll around pretty well. As I said, it's the big dice that roll that are the most prone to wandering, and you need a proper arena for them, a proper magical circle to harness their energies. Okay? The other smaller dice, the lower number dice, have lower power values, so they're easier to control for younger people. Okay? Thank you very much. I hope you have a delightful day, a nice night, and a wonderful week. And see you next time, everyone.